Hey everyone, welcome to week 20 of Victorian English Language Tutoring's online course. Today is Semantics 2, so we're just finishing off the meta language in semantics that we haven't been able to get through so far, so it shouldn't take too long. Let's get going. Our first term is etymology. Etymology is the study of the origins of words and how they change over time. So etymology, the etymology of the word etymology is that it's late Middle English from Old French via Latin from Greek, meaning student of etymology from itumon, neuter singular of itumos, true. So I'm not going to try and pronounce all of those Greek and Latin and Old French words, but you can see that etymology is the study of the origins of words. So it's where the words came from, how they've changed over time, and what their history is. This one's a specifically Year 11 concept, so please make sure you're all over this Year 11s. Semantic overgeneralization. Semantics is about meaning, and generalization is when we draw a conclusion based on another linguistic rule. Overgeneralization, therefore, is drawing a conclusion based on other linguistic rules that don't apply in this particular scenario. For example, tiger to tigers. The rule is that we add an S to make the noun tiger plural. But foot to foots. The same rule has been applied, but it does not work in this scenario. This is really common with child language acquisition in children. When they are learning languages, they will take a semantic rule and just apply it to everything, which is often why you hear children saying like foots instead of feet, or because they see the kind of semantic process of tiger to tigers, the morphological process, tiger to tigers, and then they just apply that morphological process, morphological rule to everything. We correct them, children, when they're learning language so that they know that, hey, this rule doesn't apply here, but it actually does kind of make sense why children do that. So this is semantic overgeneralization. We covered our blinky bill example and inference when we talked about cohesion and coherence. So inference is where information from an outside context is required to understand the current context. The example here, you sound like Blinky Bill, but my ears aren't blue. This one uses inference because if you don't know who Blinky Bill is, he is an Australian children's book and TV character, and you need to have that information in order to understand what's happening in the conversation. Semantic change, so we have broadening, narrowing, shift, elevation, deterioration, and then denotation, and changing connotation. So semantic broadening is when the meaning of the word includes more than it did before. So a word that used to mean one thing now means multiple things. It includes multiple things. Semantic narrowing is when the meaning of a word includes less than it did before. Semantic shift is the meaning of the word changing to mean something else. Semantic elevation is the meaning of the word becoming more positive than before. Think of an elevator going up or a mountain having really high elevation. So it's going better, it's becoming more positive. Deterioration is the meaning of the word becoming more negative than before. So it's the opposite of elevation. A denotative meaning or denotation is the dictionary definition of specific language or specific words. Changing connotations, this has to do with the images and feelings language evokes and how this changes over time. Some words have specific connotations or images and feelings that are evoked that change. So something that used to be unacceptable is now acceptable, or something that used to be acceptable is now completely unacceptable. I'm sure you can have a discussion with your classmates about that if you are so inclined, but for the rest of us, we're going to do our revision quiz. So what is the difference between broadening and narrowing? Why do connotations change? Do children stereotypically undergeneralize or overgeneralize their language use? And what is etymology? Please pause now and come back when you're ready for the answers. Okay, answers time. Broadening is when the meaning of a word becomes larger, encompassing more than it did before. Narrowing is when the meaning of a word becomes smaller, encompassing less than it did before. As society changes and language changes, the connotations of certain words change to reflect what is happening in contemporary life. Children stereotypically overgeneralize their language use. And etymology is the study of where words come from and how they change over time. Thanks for tuning in. Please email me if you have any questions or concerns, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye, guys.